So changing planes is an achievement that is far simpler than it sounds. The goal is to do 5 non-adjacent movements in a row in Golden Gears while running the pursuit dice. So we're looking to leave at least one gap between us and the tile that we move to, 5 moves in a row, and thankfully the pursuit dice makes this pretty simple for us. This dice lets us move to any domain of the same type as the one that we're currently on, and it also expands plane 1 and 3 to match the size of plane 2. So because we always start on plane 1 on a combat tile, logically the fastest way of pulling this off is to jump to 5 other combat tiles during our run. The great thing about this is that combat tiles are one of the most common tiles there is, pretty much on par with occurrence tiles. So you're going to have no problems getting enough combat on the field. In fact, if you're lucky, you might even have a map with the perfect combat tile layout right from the get-go for you to do your 5 moves. But if you don't, well, we've got the custom dice to solve that. So let's take a look at our faces. So the aim of the game here is to get this achievement while on plane 1 while copying as many combat tiles as possible. So the die faces that we're going to be going for should be pretty self-explanatory with that in mind. So we're going with dialectics to copy the current domain to a random domain location. Because we'll always be on a combat tile, this will always place a combat tile onto the field. Imitation is a great one as it lets us select exactly where we want to place our combat tile. And then inspiration lets us copy 2 combat tiles to random positions on the field. Perception is a niche case one in which you might have a combat tile adjacent to your current position that you're unable to use. So with this you can then use perception to copy it to an adjacent position to itself, making it now usable. Domain self is another great one in that it lets you turn any domain into the domain that you're currently on, which in this case is always going to be a combat tile. And then finally we've got general observation, which lets you move to any domain in the next 3 columns. So this one isn't really that useful to move to other combat domains since you're already always going to be able to move to any combat domain. But it does let you pivot to a different type of domain. So for example, you might have spotted a perfect path using occurrences midway through your run. So this face could potentially let you jump from a combat tile to an occurrence tile instead without breaking your streak. And so I'll just quickly pop on screen here the run that I had where all combat tiles that spawned at the start were in perfect locations for me to get the achievement. So this is actually far more common than you might think. During the half dozen times that I ran this while recording for this video, I probably had about 3 maps that spawned with perfect 4 jump layouts, leaving me to simply use one cheat to place one combat tile for the full 5 jumps. Whatever the case may be, you simply need to re-roll your map until you find something that's suitable. I would imagine that anything with a 3 jump layout would be perfectly fine, as the final 2 jumps can easily be placed using your starting cheat and re-rolls that you get.